All right, hey guys. So listen, I want to talk to you about um, your intuition and you know using your senses to live in life and how I use my intuition and tarot cards to figure a lot of this mess out. There's a lot of crap that I still don't know, but we're gonna find that out when it comes out in court. So um, if you watch the other video, 3 months in, I went to the cop shop and I actually felt okay coming out of there. I thought, you know what? At least they'll mediate. At least, maybe they'll make a phone call and say, you know what, do we have a problem here? Because no girl's going to walk into a shop full of guys when you already know these are the ones that are stalking and watching and, following you around. These are the ones that are calling you names out in the fucking street and trying to hit you with vehicles. So you don't go into that shop. That's walking into the lion's den. See, and that right there is intuition, right? I knew better than to go and walk into that shop knowing damn well what was going on and it was coming from that shop. So my intuition was to sit back and use the other senses because clearly speaking up ain't working because nobody's listening and nobody was listening. But I'm quite sure a lot of people are listening at this point because a lot of information is out there and I have figured out a lot of who these people are. When it comes to my intuition, like I said, it started to override. It started to make me hyper aware, and I don't say that in a bad way because being aware of your surroundings and being aware of who and what is in them saves you a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. You can avoid a lot of crap if you just pay attention. Um, like not showing up at that party when you know damn well so and so is going to be there. They're going to be a complete ass and the whole night's going to be shit, right? Don't go, right? Your intuition is probably saying don't go. So it's your own fault if you end up at that party and everything turns to shit. Your intuition and your gut told you don't go, right? So, if you had listened to your intuition, maybe you would have ended up somewhere else or at a bar or somewhere else and you would have had a great time, but you didn't listen to your intuition. So that's basically the whole process of using intuition is picking up on signals and signs and little things that are telling you to pay attention. And yeah, like I said, so nobody was listening. The cops clearly weren't listening because they were in on it. And that's basically was started telling me to start paying attention, start watching, start listening. And that's what I did. And that's basically how I have solved most of this. And when it comes to a lot of the information behind the scenes of the what and the why, um, that came from tarot cards. And that again was just using your intuition. Is she saying, have anything to do with me? Is it possible that this is something that could be happening? You can't watch a tarot card session and, instantly assume that that is your life because there's 5 lines to each sign. So if you're not watching and you're not paying attention, you're going to mess your whole self up, right? You don't just go and watch, here on YouTube, I watch a few readers and you don't just go and go, well, you know what? She's reading about a Virgo, so that's got to be about me, right? Like, oh, Virgo, your ex is coming back. Well, maybe your ex isn't coming back because that's not your storyline. So you have to pay attention when you're watching these videos as to, is that your life? Is that a possibility to happen? Um, is it an option? Because if it's not an option for you, that's not your story, right? Because to you, your ex ain't coming back. So he can watch all those videos saying, Virgo, your ex is coming back. If you don't want your ex back, that's not your story. Don't sit there and listen to these stories that have nothing to do with you. That's not your line. That's not your lifeline. So you really need to start paying attention if you're watching these videos is to, um, clue into what's going on in your life, clue into, what could possibly be going on in their life, and don't make a story not yours, or don't make a story that's not yours. Don't make it yours. You get that? So, don't go and listen to tarot readings and just assume because Well, because that's a Virgo, well, that's got to be my story, right? If you're saying your ex ain't coming, then he ain't coming back, right? Then that's not your story. Don't watch those videos and go, oh my God, here he comes again. He's not coming back. That's not your story. Don't make that storyline about you. Um, but I really just started cluing into readers, the collective reads. If you listen to a lot of the collective reads about the stalkers and all the crap, a lot of that is actually what's going on in my life. And that is a lot of the people that I am dealing with. And yes, those people are definitely capable of what they're talking about in those videos. So, yes, that is a storyline that I'm going to follow because I know what's going on in my life. I am very aware of what's going on in their life. And the possibility of that happening, it's huge. So, yes, that would be my storyline. Am I going to listen and believe every part of those reads? Absolutely not, because like I said, there's 5 storylines per sign. So you can also go in because just because she says, you know what, he's going to be driving a purple car today. Well, your ex may be driving a black car, right? But if you're listening to it, well, then he's going to show up in a purple car. Well, if he doesn't have any access to a purple card, that's not your story. He doesn't have a purple card. Stop making these storylines fit your own because it's going to mess you right up. So again, you have to use your intuition when you're picking these videos and which ones you're watching and who you're listening to, because a lot of these stories will also copy. They sit and they go and they watch other readers and then they come back and, they start flipping out. And if you don't know what these cards mean, you're going to believe anything, right? You don't know what those cards are. You're believing her to tell you what those cards mean. So you have to know what those cards mean before you can actually believe the storyline in the first place. And then your intuition kicks in and tells you whether or not that's possibly your story even at all. So don't listen to every story. Do not believe what every reader says. A lot of them are crap. Um, if they've got, oh my God, anything like that is usually crap. Don't listen to those. Don't listen to those. Those are attention getters. Oh my God, right? You're like, oh my God, right? And now you're clicking. That's all you're there for. You're just clickbait to those videos. So don't click on the videos that are like, oh my God, you have to. No, no, those are attention whores. Don't watch those videos at all, at all, at all. They're not telling you anything you want to know. Those are the ones that are going. They're watching other videos. They're coming back, and they're just laying out cards telling you what you want to hear. So don't listen to every reader. Don't pay attention to every video that's out there. Make sure your storyline is yours. And don't make things fit that don't fit your life. Like I said, if there's not a possibility of your ex coming back and you're watching video after video saying, you know what, your ex is coming back, you're just freaking yourself out. You're just freaking yourself out, right? He's not coming back. You don't want him back. That's not your story. Don't make it fit your life because that's not yours and you're just going to give yourself a panic attack for no reason. You're going to be stressed and you're going to be working yourself up over something that's not even going to happen. So make sure you're watching who you're watching, what they're talking about. And if you listen a couple days, 2, 3 days in a row, you can kind of pick up because the ones that are fake are usually talking about the same crap every day. Every day is the same story. You have to watch those too because most of those are fake as crap anyway. So for me, I had to find the right reader. I had to go and find the right collective story because the Virgos and, all my horoscope signs were not making any sense to me. I don't have an ex coming back. I'm not getting married. I'm not, moving in with anybody. My career wasn't changing. Don't listen to those if you know those are not your stories. If you're in your job and you like your job and you're happy there, don't listen to another story that's saying, oh my God, you're going to get a new job and you're changing jobs. That's not your story. You're happy in your job. That's not your story. And I had to literally go through and watch I watched so many before I could finally clue into a couple readers that were um, really cluing in to my lifeline. So, um, and then again, it's intuition, right? Is it my story? Is it my, is what she's saying have anything to do with me? Is it even a possibility for it to happen to me? Um, what are the chances of said party being capable of doing what they're talking about, right? And all that has to play into what stories you listen to. So, like I said, it took me a few times to get through, and it took me a few readers, and it took me many, many messages to finally go, okay, you know what? 90% of that crap has nothing to do with me. Like I said, I don't have an accent, I'm not moving, I'm not changing career. So, none of that, I'm not looking for a partner. None of those are my storyline then. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? Well, the so and so is coming towards you. So and so, they're good for them. That's great for them, but I'm not looking for that. So that's not my storyline. So you really have to clue in and just pay attention. Talk to your stomach. What's going on? Do you think this is right? Do you think this is possible? Do you think this is something that could actually happen? You know, you have to pick and choose. um, so yeah, like it took me many, many times, but then it started clicking, right? She starts talking about things that have happened or have a likelihood of happening. You know, some of them will even describe people and stuff, and you're like, well, Jesus, that's so and so. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, they did that, and yeah, right. That's probably your story. That is probably your story. So don't be making things fit that aren't yours. Listen to your intuition because it's going to tell you if that's right. And listen to it. Listen. Listen. Like you have intuition. Everybody has intuition, but not everybody wants to listen to it. So make a choice to listen to your intuition. Start paying attention to what your body's trying to tell you. Tune into yourself. You can avoid yourself so many problems and issues and, you know, oopsies through the day if you just listen to your intuition. Your body and your mind are trying to tell you something. So when you're watching these videos, intuition, mind, is it possible? And then listen to yourself and whether or not that is possible. Because you can sit and watch all these videos, and if it's making you angry and mad, like that's not your story, then probably, you know, listen to your intuition. That's all I'm saying. It got me through a lot of these reads, and I spent a lot of time feeling really nauseous because so much stuff was coming up. And I made the mistake of posting one video to my Facebook, and these this group of people, they just went off and they ended up in a repeat cycle, is what they did. Because I know for a fact they're out there, they're watching these videos, they thinking they're going to screw over my life, and um, that's not even the line. That's not even my lifestyle or my lifeline. Sorry. Um, but I noticed them in a loop. They got themselves stuck in a loop of doing the same thing over and over. Why? Because they're going on these videos and they're watching and going, oh my God, that's what's happening. That's what I have to do. Well, no, my lifeline ended years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even my line anymore. I went through that already. Like, that's over. You have yourself caught in a loop. And that's how I started catching them, because they just kept repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, you got yourself stuck in a loop. And my gut's going, that's them, right? Because they just kept doing it over and over again. And they kept reappearing and reappearing and reappearing. I probably would have never put it all together if they had just let it play out. Like, that's the whole thing. It would have never carried on. But they get stuck on these videos, and because there's so many every day saying the same crap, they're like, oh, well, that's what I have to do today. So they got themselves stuck in a loop, and that's how we ended up here. Now we're 4 years deep, and now we're going to court. because they got stuck on the wrong videos. They didn't listen. They're not paying attention. They're not aware. They don't use intuition. They have no idea what it is. They were just watching video going, oh my God, that's what's happening to a Virgo today, so that's what I'm going to do. Like, how ridiculous is that? They caught themselves in a loop and got themselves caught up. And now we're heading to court. You know? That's just the way it is. So if you're going to be reading and watching these videos, do pay attention. Use your intuition. Do not believe everything in these videos. Stop listening to the ones that are on repeat because it only happens once. It's only going to happen once. And then you're over it. You're done. You get through it. These people, they get on there and they think, oh my God, this is happening every freaking day. And that's the repeat cycle they put themselves in. And now we have all this stuff that they've done against me because they couldn't stop. And now we're all going to end up in court, which is also in the reads. And I tried to tell them this a long time ago when all this started. I tried to tell him that. They won't listen. So now we're here. And we're going to court. And it's going to be one hell of a circus. So anyways, guys, just listen to your intuition. Pay attention when your body and your mind are trying to tell you things. And stop listening to all these tarot readings. They're messing with your head. Just don't. Find your storyline and leave the rest alone. Anyways, till the next video. Ciao, guys.